Alright, ladies and gents, this is 015 Notes, writing in slope-intercept form. Objective, you'll be able to graph slope-intercept form equation on a graphing calculator. You'll also be able to determine what the y-intercept is given a graph. And you're going to be able to write an equation given a graph. So first things first, you're going to take out your graphing calculator. You'll see you have a whole bunch of buttons here. The buttons that we're going to focus on today is the y equals button, the second button, and the graph button, which is located up here, in addition to the regular buttons of plus, minus, subtraction, multiplication, and 0 through 9, and the negative sign. So once you hit the calculator on, you're going to see this type of screen right here. It's a blank screen. First, I want you to turn on the calculator by hitting the on button. Next, I need you to hit the combination of second plus sign 712. This clears your RAM of your calculator. It helps everyone be on the same page and everything is all cleared, so it's like a brand new calculator. Alright, next, there are several buttons on your calculator. These buttons are meant to help you stay nice, neat, and organized. One of these buttons today that we're talking about is the y equals button. It's located in the top left-hand corner. When you hit that y equals button, you're going to get a screen that looks like this. If it's in color, you'll get some colors. If it's a black and white calculator, it will become up in black and white, with y1 equals, y2 equals, y3 equals. In that first line, we're going to type our equation in order to graph it. So let's type this equation in here. We have y equals 3x minus 4. So we hit the y equals button, we type that in 3. The x button is located right above the math button, or the ask button, or diagonal from the second button. So diagonal, the x button. That's the button you want to hit to get the x. Then minus 4. Once we hit enter, then I need you guys to hit the graph button, which is located in the top right hand corner. You'll be able to see your graph being graphed. And this is what it should look like after you hit it. Notice here the y-intercept is all the way down here at negative 4. And it's a slope of up 3 over 1. So y equals 3x minus 4. The line crosses the y-axis. When the line crosses the y-axis, this is called the y-intercept. It also has a slope. As discussed before, slope is either positive or negative. Can you determine where the y-intercept is on this graph? Well, as we discussed before, we just count down 1, 2, 3, 4. It's down at negative 4 on the y-axis, so the y-intercept is negative 4. Hence why in our equation we have y equals 3x minus 4. The y-intercept comes there at the end of our equation, so negative 4, negative 4. That's why it crosses at negative 4. We told the calculator what to do. This other guy, the 3, is the slope. The sign, the number in front of the x is our slope. So it means it goes up 3 over 1. Looking on this graph, can you find the y-intercept? All we got to do is count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's up at 8, so our y-intercept is positive 8. Looking at this one, can you determine where the y-intercept is? Yes, you can. Just count it out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This blue line crosses the y-axis at positive 5. So our y-intercept is at positive 5. This one here. See if you can do it on your own first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's at negative 6. Our y-intercept is at negative 6. Now, we are now going to determine what the equation of the line is. When the line is given, to you on the graph. The equation will be in the form of y equals mx plus b. Well, we know our b is our y-intercept, so that's just really where does our line cross the y-axis, and our m is the slope, the rise over the run, which we talked about before. So here's some steps. I'm working with the calculator. You could just write these down for now. Step 1, find 2 points on the line that intersect at a corner of a box on the grid. Write down your equation y equals mx plus b. First find your slope, the m, the rise over the run. Then you find your y-intercept, the b, and then you're going to plug these numbers into the equation. So looking at this on number 1. The coordinates are always when a line crosses at a corner of a box. So I'm going to put these 2 dots, I'm going to highlight it for us a little bit. Where I put those 2 dots are where our blue line crosses a corner of our grid. So it actually crosses a coordinate. Now that we got that, just like we did before, define slope. Goes up 2, so it's a rise of 2. And it's a run of 4. So rise over run. So rise over run, which means 2 over 4, which simplifies down to a half. And this y-intercept, it looks like it crosses right at 2. So our b is 2. Our slope is a half. So our formula is going to be y equals, find a good spot right down here, doing a different color. We have y equals our slope, which is a half, x, then plus 2, because that's where our y-intercept is. So that's how we write the equation there. Let's look at number 2. We see the line crosses at -4. And we see it also, our line goes through that corner of the box. So our y-intercept is at -4, so our b is at -4. Our rise is 2, and our run is 4. Oh, very similar. So our slope is 2 over 4, which simplifies down to a half. So our equation is y equals a half x minus 4. That's our slope of the equation. Looking at number 3. We find 2 spots. It crosses at -2. And it seems like it crosses a corner of a box right up there, at that top. So since it crosses at -2 on our y-axis, it's b equals -2. I find our slope. Well, this line is going down, so you know it's a negative line, so our slope is going to be negative. And it's going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it goes down 6, and it goes to the right 5. So this is going to be -6 over 5. So our final answer, our equation is y equals -6 over 5 x minus 2. Let's do one more together, then we're going to change up the style a little bit. So here's our problem. It seems like it crosses up here, and it crosses again all the way down here. So our y-intercept is at +5, because we go from the origin, see where the line crosses the y-axis. So our b is at +5. Our slope is a positive line, so I know our slope is positive, and it goes up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Rise of 8, and a run of 3. So our slope is 8 over 3. Put that in the equation. Y equals 8 over 3 x plus 5. Alright. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or come to Extra Help. I'll be happy to help you out. Your classwork is 015 CW1, write slope-intercept form equations from a graph. And your homework is 015 HW1, write slope-intercept form equations from a graph. Alright, if you have any questions, email me or come to Extra Help. I'll be happy to help you out. Have a good night.